Part 1. The Garden of Earthly Delights. Chapter 1. Sealed. I have a recurring dream. It always starts so beautifully. Ethereal light bathes rolling fields as far as the eye can see. A sense of profound peace washes over me as I realize this must be heaven. My earthly journey has ended. The landscape shifts, familiar yet otherworldly. Loved ones I've lost appear in the distance, their faces radiant. I move toward them, weightless, unburdened, embracing them with tears of joy. This is paradise, I think. This is peace. Then I see those eyes, cold and unyielding, boring into me with a power as ancient as the stars. It's her, Ruby. Suddenly, God's voice booms around me, shaking the very foundations of heaven. My child, you were wrong to defy your mother. I jolt awake, heart pounding, and for a moment the terror lingers. Even in the afterlife, will I never be free from her? My mother was born Ruby Griffiths on January 18, 1982, in Logan, Utah, the first child of 5 to Chad and Jennifer Griffiths, whose families had been devout members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS, for generations. When Ruby was young, her family relocated to Roy, Utah, a small city where the LDS Church shaped nearly every aspect of life. In this tight-knit community, days revolved around scripture study, clean living, and above all else, family. That is, after all, the cornerstone of our faith. As the eldest in a strict, conservative home, Ruby's childhood was less about play and more about responsibility, and she was tasked with helping to raise her younger siblings. I can easily imagine a young Ruby, spine straight and eyes determined, navigating her family's expectations with a sense of righteous purpose, eagerly anticipating the day when she would have a family of her own, relishing the thought of finally being the one to make the rules and shape her home exactly as she saw fit. For Ruby, motherhood wasn't just a future role, it was the pinnacle of her aspirations, the one thing she had always wanted for herself above all else. Her reverence for motherhood is not uncommon in the LDS theology I was raised with. Becoming a mother in my faith is a spiritual calling of the highest order, a chance to emulate the divine and participate in the grand tapestry of creation. Perhaps that's why the physical toll, the discomforts of pregnancy, the searing pain of childbirth, weren't seen as obstacles to be overcome or burdens to be endured by Ruby. Rather, they were sacred trials, opportunities to demonstrate her unwavering faith in God's plan and secure her place in the celestial afterlife alongside the hallowed ancestors who had walked this path before her. As soon as she turned 18, the starting gun went off in Ruby's race toward eternal exaltation, and my mother embarked on her mission to populate not just her earthly home, but her heavenly mansion as well. First, though, she needed a husband. In the year 2000, when 18-year-old Ruby first set foot on the Utah State University campus, she had one thing on her mind: manhunting. Yes, she had chosen accounting as her major, but college was never about learning for Ruby. It was about finding a mate so she could get married, start a family, and begin fulfilling her divine purpose ASAP. On a color-coded vision board, Ruby outlined the key qualities she required in a man: 5 inches taller than me, handsome, car paid off, engineer. Her own father was an engineer, so perhaps she liked the idea of history repeating itself. It goes without saying, her ideal man had to be devoted to the church. Enter my father, Kevin Franke, a senior living on campus, 4 years older at 22, on the brink of completing his civil engineering degree, and very much a product of his LDS faith. He stood 5 inches taller than Ruby, check, had a chiseled jawline, handsome, double check, and his keen intellect and ambition hinted at a promising future. Plus, he seemed so nice. Exuding genuine kindness, Kevin had a laid-back aura that was a balm to Ruby's intense spirit. Ruby had no interest in power struggles, after all. What she needed was someone relaxed enough to let her take the reins without too much resistance, a co-pilot content to let her navigate their shared journey, pay the bills, and give her the children she longed for. Born on October 9, 1978, in Ogden, Utah, Kevin was the youngest of 7 siblings, trailing his nearest brother by a full 12 years.